Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Housing, which we are now changing to South King County Real Estate Update. What happened this week? So I am excited to jump right into it. We got a little bit to cover today. There's some things that happened this week that affect the real estate market for sure. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. I want to thank you all for joining me. Before I bring up the slides, I just want to remind you that whatever platform you're watching this on, whether you're watching this with me live on Facebook, or whether you're watching the replay later on YouTube, Instagram, my website, any of these other places, I really thank you for tuning in and go ahead and hit that subscribe button or like or follow, whatever the terminology is for the specific platform you're on. Make sure to hit the bell or whatever so that you are alerted of my future videos. All right, well, I'll go ahead and jump right into it. So this is the South King County Real Estate Update for January 22nd, 2001. So we'll find out what happened this week. All right, so the biggest news out of this week, I believe, is January 20th, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn in as president and vice president. So we know that this is going to take, there is going to be a lot of different policies enacted from the previous administration. And on his first day, Biden actually issued 17 executive orders to basically reverse a lot of the stuff that President Trump did and promote the distribution of coronavirus vaccine. And there was a whole bunch of things that these executive orders touched on. But we will focus on the eviction moratorium extension. Joe Biden on his first day extended the eviction moratorium nationally to March 2021. And in this article, this estimate is that there are 14 million Americans that are behind on their rent, which is highly unfortunate. But the eviction moratorium will at least keep them in their homes until hopefully they're able to get vaccinated and the numbers are coming down to just keep everyone safe. There are some assistance programs for homeowners that are renting them out that have tenants that are not paying. So if you're curious about any of this, I'm happy to talk it out with you on a one-to-one basis. But the eviction moratorium, they're expecting to extend it through September 2021. Oh, but before I move on, so if you are a homeowner that has a tenant that isn't paying right now, as I said, there are some assistance programs for you. But there are actually two ways to evict a tenant currently. And that is if the seller is either the owner is either selling the home, or if they plan to move into the home and change the use of it from a rental to an owner-occupied residence. So in those situations, evictions can still happen. I actually had one that I came across this past week. I viewed a house with a tenant or with a client, and there was a tenant in there who it was a duplex, so we could only view half of the property. We could only view the lower unit because in the top unit, the tenant is being evicted because of the sale of the property. There are still a lot of rules that are followed. There's the 60-day eviction notice, and that is the first notice of eviction. But there are two ways to evict a tenant still. So whether you are a homeowner or a tenant who's behind on their rents, that is something to be aware of. And Western Washington home sales prices climbed in 2020 in all 23 counties. So this came out on January 20th, so a few days ago. But Pierce County had increase in excuse me, increase in home values of 13.5%. Snohomish County was 10.5, and King County saw a smaller increase of 7.4. However, if you break King County up into different areas, the Seattle market definitely was lagging behind the rest of King County on home growth. So Southwest King County prices increased by 11.6%, and Southeast King County was 10.4% increased. Excuse me. So this just breaks it out into a map, and the colors are for the median home value, and it'll have the percentage here of overall increase in value. So you can see all of our counties did increase in value, and King would have had a lot more momentum posted here if they'd separated Seattle from the rest of King County. As far as mortgage rates, last week we did have a little bit of a rise to 2.79, but this week we are dipping back down just ever so slightly to 2.77. So, and here I know there's a lot of debate about economist forecasts, because a lot of them think different things are going to happen. But here they say that the economists are forecasting that the mortgage rates will rise throughout the year. However, they'll remain historically low as our economy is still in recovery. So as far as our local King County market activity, we had 581 new listings in the last 7 days, 855 pending, and 514 sold. So if you look at that on our graph, you can see our pendings did jump up pretty significantly over the last couple of weeks. So this is usually what we would expect to see this time of year, is a dip in inventory and in pending sales activity throughout the dwindling down from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and then in January kind of starting to tick up again. So this is following the trend we would expect to see this time of year. And as far as showing stats, this is for North America. So if we think back a year ago in late January, not very many Americans had really heard of COVID-19 yet. It wasn't something that was being talked about on a day-to-day basis among the general public. So we hadn't really, we didn't see any effect on the real estate market. This is for showings until, you know, the end of February, beginning of March. And then it just really dropped off. Oop. There we go. So from 2019 to 2020, there was a 7.1 increase in viewing activity. From 2020 to 2021, there has been a 9.7% increase on top of that. So we had a busy start to the year last year compared to the year before, and this year is ramping up even stronger with the buyer demand. And if we bring that a little bit closer to home here, this is for the Northwest MLS, so basically Western Washington. And you can see the dark line here, 2020, we had significantly more showings than we did the same week a year before. And we actually went up almost 9% on our showing activity from last week. And from the week before, we went up almost 64% from the week before that. But that was just after Christmas and New Year's. So people kind of jump back into the market. So that is not that big of a surprise to see such a huge increase in showing traffic the couple weeks leading into the new year, or leading into the new year, and then again first week in the new year. But we are still seeing that increase in traffic. So I mentioned this last week, but if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, I did put it in the description below, a link to sign up. So make sure you hop on over there and register to receive your newsletter. It's twice a month, and it has important announcements, home buyer tips, investment property information, and whatever else I need to put in there to get out to the general public. So I really would love to convey really important information to you. So make sure to go ahead and sign up for my newsletter whenever you get a moment. I also have a referral program that we are starting here. Twice a year, there's going to be a drawing for local or semi-local within driving distance stay at a lodge of either Great Wolf Lodge, Suncadia, or Salish Lodge and Spa. And then 4 times a year, there will be a Visa gift card drawing for $500 Visa gift card. So make sure to, there's a link to this as well. Either you can reach out to me directly, or you can fill in the referral program link at that's posted below here to enter. And I do have some spots left for my paint night coming up the first week of February, first Saturday of February. We'll be painting this adorable mug behind us in front of a snowy window. So if you are interested in joining along on this little painting adventure, make sure to sign up. The link is below for this as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email are on the screen there. I am happy to chat about the real estate market in your area, any rental concerns you may have going on. If you are doing work on your home and need contractor suggestions, I'm happy to help with that sort of thing too. So anything real estate related, I'm your gal. Make sure to reach out and I'll be here for you. Well, thank you so much for joining me for the South King County Real Estate Update. I will be back here Friday next week at 3 p.m. I hope you have a wonderful week, and thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.